Hello everyone, my name is Jacory D. Cheney. I am a cybersecurity student at Grand Canyon University. I'm currently enrolled in CYB 610, Penetration Testing and Management. And today I'm going to be speaking about multiple vulnerability scans that I conducted in order to exploit my Kioptrix 2 system. Started off by conducting target enumeration. Prior to this, I conducted a nmap scan. I did the regular 192.168.56, but I did .0/24 to locate all of my potential IP addresses. Then I was able to conduct the enumeration on the Kioptrix 2 operating system, and it revealed multiple vulnerabilities and open ports. The two commands that I used was nmap 192.168.56.105, which is my Kioptrix 2 IP address, as well as nmap switch switch capital A 192.168.56.105. My flaw hypothesis methodology. My hypothesis based on the Kioptrix 2 enumeration is that there will be multiple vulnerabilities located after the completion of intrusive vulnerability scans. The Nessus web application, this showed me downloading my Nessus web application. None of my these vulnerability scan methods were downloaded previously, besides Nikto. So I had to download Nessus. I also had to download and create accounts for OWASP Zap. So this shows my Nessus account setup. I utilized web application testing for my scan, and I conducted a scan and named it Cheney_Kioptrix 2, and I ran again on my Kioptrix 2 IP address, which is 192.168.56.105. This is still screenshots of my Nessus vulnerability scan. It showed multiple vulnerabilities. Some of them were very critical vulnerabilities, and it allowed me to go through each one to learn more about those vulnerabilities. Additional vulnerabilities again were located while conducting the Nessus web application testing scan. So some of the ones that were uncovered, one was the PHP unsupported version detection. The solution was to upgrade to the latest PHP that is currently supported. CGI, generic SSI injection, HTTP headers. The remote web server hosts one or more CGI scripts that fail to properly sanitize request strings and are vulnerable for SSI injection attack, causing an attacker to be able to execute arbitrary commands on a remote host. The solution may be to disable server-side includes. If they are not used, restrict access to the vulnerable applications, or contact the vendor for an upgraded patch. So those are two vulnerabilities that was located during the Nessus scan. This is Nikto. Didn't have any problems running this command. It popped right up. And it also uncovered multiple vulnerabilities. It located OSVDB-12184. Localized PHP reveals potential sensitive information via certain HTTP requests that contain specific query strings. This makes it possible for attackers to obtain confidential information. This is similar to what was located on the Nessus scan. The scan also mentioned X-XSS protection header is not defined. That refers to cross-scripting. A cross-scripting attack is also like an injection attack that's caused by cyber criminals injecting malicious script into trusted websites. Okay, so this was the OWASP Zap download. It was not currently installed on my Kali Linux operating system. I downloaded the OWASP Zap from the official website and installed the Zap proxy for the launch, and I also created a vulnerability scan and located multiple vulnerabilities. Again, this is my scan. You can see here I have multiple SQL injections as well as anti-CSRF tokens. So I was able to detect those. The CSRF, or cross-site request forgery, is an attack that forces authorized and verified end users to execute unauthorized actions on a current authenticated party. CSRF exploits the trusted web application that has with an authorized or authenticated user. Okay, I conducted the Nikto vulnerability scan and located the following vulnerabilities. The anti-clickjacking X-frame option header is not present. This means that the website are vulnerable to clickjacking attacks. Solutions can be to directly provide browsing requests via the HTTP headers, client-side JavaScript. The X-XSS cross-site scripting protection header is not defined. This means that the machine may be vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks. Solutions can be to convert the key characters in the data a website receives to prevent that data from being interpreted or intercepted in a malicious manner. You can also validate user input by treating all outside data as untrusted and sanitize the data by removing all unwanted data. Also had a Apache 2.0.52 is updated. It also provided the most current version that should be updated to, which is Apache 2.4.37. And that should be updated as soon as possible. Again, this PHP reveals potential sensitive information via certain HTTP requests that contain certain query screenings that is consistent with the SQL injection. Solution can be to synthesize inputs and parameterize queries or restrict access to the application. Server may leak endnodes via e-tags header found with file. Solution may be to disable the e-tags. When I conducted OWASP Zap vulnerability scan, I located the following vulnerabilities. SQL injection refers to injecting SQL query code into the input data from the user to the application. Solution can be to sanitize inputs and parameterize queries. The cross-site request forgery is an attack that makes authenticated users perform actions that they do not want to do against what they are currently authenticated. Missing anti-clickjacking means that the websites are vulnerable to clickjacking attacks. These are Nessus vulnerability scans that I located. You have the PHP less than 5.3.12 / 5.4.2 CGI query string code execution. This allows a remote attacker to obtain PHP source code from the web server as well as execute arbitrary code. Also located multiple vulnerabilities in PHP 5.3.11, 4.45, 5.3.9 as well. Multiple vulnerabilities there. Also the web application information disclosure. The web application fails to protect the confidential information for the authorized users. The web application potential vulnerability to clickjacking attacks, which is an attack to trick users to click on a web page when they have disguised elements into the web page. And it's just to trick you to click on a certain element on the web page, and once that's done, you will either download malicious links. Okay. Vulnerabilities, legal and ethical standards. I believe that from an ethical standpoint, exploitation of a vulnerability should be disclosed as soon as possible. I believe that discovery of the vulnerability should be disclosed as soon as possible. If it is possible that individuals may be affected, I believe that vulnerabilities that have been detected early may not need to be publicized as early. This is only reason I'm saying this is because there are multiple vulnerabilities that may have been detected very early, and you may be able to quickly repair this issue without any consumer or individual being affected. Eventually, all vulnerabilities will need to be disclosed to the public because the organization may not be aware that the network was compromised from the vulnerability until much later. It is very important for the organization to have business continuity plans in place, disaster response plans, and risk assessment matrix in plan to quickly respond to any disruption. So it's very important to continue to still eventually disclose those vulnerabilities, because you might not know that an attacker had exploited the system through that vulnerability. Now they've been inside your network for many years, and if you don't publicize that, you may not know, or keep record of that, you might not know which vulnerability the attacker was actually able to exploit. Root of the vulnerability and hypothesized attack vector. I hypothesize utilizing common social engineering attacks, rootkits, and backdoors to exploit the system for as long as possible. To locate a vulnerability at the root, I would employ the root cause analysis. I would utilize physical, human, and organizational ways to enforce preventative action, as well as to locate vulnerability at the root. The vulnerability scan has allowed me to understand that my device is susceptible to cross-site scripting, clickjacking, as well as cross-site request forgery. The root cause of the cross-site scripting is due to web application utilizing untrusted input behavior and failing to properly validate the input first. The end user input is implanted into the web server by HTML code prior to sending the data to the client. This creates a malicious input that can be controlled by an attacker for arbitrary code within the user's browser. This is a list of resources that I utilize to complete this presentation. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Corey D. Chain.